Hello, everybody, and welcome to BroDown with Vince Russo. I'm your host, Mac Davis, and this is the show where we look at WWE SmackDown through the eyes of my co-host, actually the star of the show. He is a former WWE and WCW creative writer, as well as a let's get this right, WCW heavyweight champion. He is none other than one of the most hated men in professional wrestling. I don't know why. Mr. Vince Russo.
Hold on a minute, Mr. Mac, stop and smell the roses, Davis. I don't know about who the star of this show is because I'm seeing two things right off the bat.
What are you saying right off the bat?
I love the shirt.
Oh, thank you.
I love the color of that shirt, but I mean, bro, what are we gonna button it down to your belly button, bro? This a family show. Button that up, button that, Matt.
It says the man in the '70s chain.
Man, what are you coming on to me over there, man?
No, man, you know it's either that or it's like this.
Bro, that's a sharp shirt. I like that. Is it, bro? I want to make. I mean, is that a light blue?
Yeah, it's like a teal kind of blue or something.
That's a beautiful shirt, bro. I love that shirt.
Yeah, I'll tell my wife. She picks it out. So
very nice, very nice. How you doing this morning, Mac?
Man, I'm doing better than I did last week. We were supposed to do the show together last week, and unfortunately, Hurricane Helen came through Georgia. And Vince, I have lived in the coast of Georgia, the coast of Florida, been through several hurricanes. I now live in the middle of Georgia, in the state of Georgia. I'm right in the middle of it.
Yeah.
I never would have thought that hurricane would have come up that far inland and still had winds of 110 miles per hour. It was unbelievable. I've never seen a hurricane with this much damage.
Now, was there a lot of damage to your property?
We had a lot of trees, a lot of cleanup, but fortunately the house was not touched. That was not the case for a lot of our neighbors, though. A lot of trees on homes. We had no power for days. Man, there's still no power in a lot of our city right now. There's still no power.
That's tough. Thank God you're okay, though. The house is okay, you know?
Yeah. That's all I care about. As long as I got, the house is sitting there and I don't have to put a whole lot of money into all this and get a real major headache.
Yeah.
Vince, I've been wanting to ask you something before we get into SmackDown last night. I've been wanting to ask you, there's been a lot of talk about Shane McMahon going to AEW. Do you think that's a real possibility?
I think that's a real possibility if he has stake in it. He's not going to AEW unless he owns a part of it. And Mac, I'll tell you why. It even makes more sense to me now than it did last week, because now with this WBD deal going through with AEW, bro, you're hearing a lot of scuttlebutt that Warner Brothers Discovery may own a stake in the company. If that indeed is true, I could definitely see them wanting Shane McMahon to be part of the fold. But if anybody thinks for 1 second Shane McMahon would go to AEW to work for Tony Khan, you're out of your mind. That is not happening. Owning a stake in the company, that I could see.
Now, you and I, we actually, on another show, I was filling in for somebody on another show on Sportskeeda, and I had mentioned to you at that time that I always thought when we saw the picture of Shane McMahon and Tony Khan in the meeting room at the airport, you and I both thought Vince is in that room too. He may not be physically in that room, but he was in that room. And the closer we get and the more talk I hear about Shane McMahon, I'm sorry, I don't see Vince sitting on the sidelines. I think Vince can be very vindictive, and I think that we have not heard the last of Vince McMahon.
You know why, Mac?
Why is that?
Why I do the show with you, Mac, because you're a smart man. You're a smart man. But Mac, I keep saying this. Here's the only question that we can answer. No way, shape, or form Vince McMahon would not be a part of this. Like you said, bro, very vindictive. He sold all his stock. He's sitting on billions and billions of dollars. Here's the only thing you and I can't answer, and we will never know the answer to this. Bro, there's only one thing standing in his way, and that's his health.
Yes.
And we don't know what that is. We don't know what that is. If he is having a difficult time health-wise, obviously that's going to be an issue.
Oh, yeah.
If he's not, I can't see anything standing in his way.
Yeah, I think as long as he can get up out of that bed and do something, he's going to do something. That's just his character.
I agree, Mac, 100%.
All right, let's talk about SmackDown on BroDown. And by the way, this is our last free BroDown that you can get here on Sportskeeda. But for all future episodes, you can subscribe by going to Backstage Pass on Patreon. And that's where
Yes.
you'll be able to find us. So please go by and do that. We'd appreciate to have you come back and see us again next week when we do this. Vince, here we go, brother. SmackDown live in Nashville, Tennessee last night. And we find out that our main event is going to be a tag team triple threat ladder match. So we get to look forward to that later in the evening. It sounds good to start the show off. But then we get Hardy, a country music singer, comes out. Can you please explain why that happened?
Let me tell you something, Mac. Here's the bottom line. Okay, Mac, I'm assuming like me, you don't have a clue who Hardy is, right?
No idea.
Okay, well, Matt, here's what I'm going to throw out there, because you know what they're going to say, Mac? Here's what they're going to say. You and me, bro, oh, we're old, we're irrelevant, we're unhip, we're this and that. Bro, Mac, let me ask you one freaking simple question.
Ask me.
One simple question. Whoever Hardy is and whatever Hardy has accomplished, do you think anybody on this earth is going to know the name Hardy in 10 years?
No.
Absolutely not. Absolutely. So I don't care if he got his flash in the pan moment. I could care less. 10 years from now, nobody's going to know who this dude is.
And we give a lot of hell on the very shows I do about AEW and not introducing people when they come into the company. You also get Hardy on WWE. He wasn't introduced. And for a lot of fans and people watching, they have no clue, just like you and I, who the hell Hardy is. And I think that loses part of your audience. They're sitting there going, huh? They're just dumbfounded as to why he's in the ring. And all he does is basically the Saturday Night Live open.
I wanted to assume, here's what I assumed, Matt, because I had no idea. Not only did I have no idea who this dude was, I could have cared less. So I'm going to assume he was the guy that started the hamburger chain Hardee's that went out of business many, many, many years ago. That's who I think that was.
Well, he does do a job and come out and tell everybody, hey, welcome AJ Styles back into SmackDown. That was a good moment. AJ looks really excited to be back in the ring and a good reception from the crowd. But things didn't go too well for him as the night went on. We'll talk more about that in a second. But Carmelo Hayes came out and interrupted AJ, offering a match to Carmelo, and Carmelo basically saying, nah. And that brings out LA Knight, and Knight says, if Carmelo can beat AJ Styles tonight, Knight will go to SmackDown general manager Nick Aldis and suggest a match between Carmelo and LA Knight for the U.S. Championship. Your thoughts?
Yeah, Cole, here's my problem, Mac, to be honest with you. Here's my problem. Like, bro, I'm a television viewer, and I like variety. I want variety. And I think wrestling should have something for everybody. But, bro, every one of these in-rings, Mac, is about wrestling. I'm a better wrestler than you. Oh, if I beat you, I get a shot at the title. Like, every promo is about the match. So what does that do, bro? It makes every promo the same. Does Carmelo Anthony over here, does he have a little charisma or a little personality? Yes, he does. But for me, there's no meat on the bone when we're going to spend the first 15 minutes of the show talking about a wrestling match, and I'm better than you, and I beat this guy, and you beat this guy, and you stink. No, you stink. Oh my God, bro, please give me more meat on the bone than that.
I'm glad you said that, because my feeling last night when I watched that was, here we go again. I'm not a hater of WWE or SmackDown. I enjoyed the last couple of SmackDown shows. Last night was a whole different story, but I agree with you. Coming out and giving the same old promo that we get week after week after, and like you say, it's not just one wrestler coming out at the beginning of the show. It's every single promo talking about the same thing. There's nothing else involved. There's not enough, for me, emotion to bring out into your viewers by giving the same old shit that you do. I'm sorry, the same old stuff that you do every single week.
Yeah, but I'm so bored with it. I want meat on the bone. Like, Mac, when I wrote the Attitude Era, I would always categorize it as, this is a thinking man show. You
Yes.
got to think about what we're doing, and you got to try to guess where we're going. It was bro, there's nothing to think about on this show. I like to be challenged, Mac. You know what I mean?
Yep. We got a comment on the screen here. Mystery Man, what was the point of bringing AJ to sell for that injury? I'm not exactly sure what that question means.
Well, he's saying that the AJ's injury was a work. So what was the point of bringing him back if that's the angle they were going to do?
I'm not sure that it's a work. Did you get a chance to see the injury spot, Vince?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
I don't think it came from AJ's move. I think it came from Carmelo's move. When Carmelo came and landed on top of him, his foot was sitting right under Carmelo when he landed, and it was in an awkward position. I think that may be where that actually came in, and I'm not sure that it's not a shoot. I honestly believe that he may have gotten injured last night.
Yeah, and also, Mac, you backed that up one more spot, and when he landed flat on his feet, you did see that knee buckle. I mean, yep. you did see the knee buckle, and then, like you said, there was a spot on top of that spot.
Right.
And, bro, you've got to add to that. Listen, bro, I love him to death. Hey, Mac, I was working with him when he was just a kid. AJ's up there in age, bro, and you know, Mac, the older you get, the body breaks down much easier. So yes. I don't know, bro. Maybe it was just a tweak. I mean, I don't know, but I'm with you, Mac. When they replayed that back, both of those things look pretty legit to me.
Yeah, me as well. And hopefully that's not the case. AJ is welcome back into the SmackDown for sure, because we need some more of that personality that he brings. So I hate to see him maybe down with another injury.
Mac, did you take that shirt down another button while we're talking, bro?
Look, I'm gonna button this something.
No, come on. I'm only Mac, I know how you feel. I mean, look at me. I hate when I'm this. I hate when I'm this.
Yeah.
I mean, Mac, I'm the kind of guy. I guarantee you're this kind of guy, bro. The shirt and the tie and the collar. I'd rather be dead. Yes. I can't understand, Mac. Help me with this. This is the one thing I never understand. Professional sports. Bro, how do commentators in the booth, how do coaches on the sideline, how did these guys wear a shirt and tie?
I don't know. I wouldn't do it. I mean, it's very difficult for me to even, I've used my voice for my entire life. That's how I make my living. And for me to be buttoned up that tight with a tie on there would ruin and constrict my vocal cords and everything else. I won't do it. I never have.
I hate it, bro. And yeah,
the only place you'll see me wear that may be at a funeral or a wedding. That's about
that's why I don't go to funerals or weddings, bro, because I'm not going to wear a shirt and tie. That's why I don't go.
And they're both about the same, aren't they? Funerals and weddings.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Very nice. Right. Very nice, man.
Back into BroDown, we got a video package of Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns for Bad Blood against the Bloodline, Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu later this evening. Are you excited about this particular match?
Not at all. No whatsoever. No.
Why is that?
I just don't care. I just don't care. Again, you said a very key word, Mac. Very key word. Emotion.
Yes.
Why do I emotionally care who wins this match? Why am I invested? Why do I care if Roman turns on Cody? There's just no emotional tie for me whatsoever.
Now, there has been some talk that, and I think The Rock may have confirmed it, that he will be at Bad Blood tonight.
Well, I think he's confirmed. I think we've confirmed that he's in Atlanta.
Yes.
Which basically is kind of the writing on the wall.
Yep. Yeah. All right. Here's the match that I know, Vince, when I was watching this last night, I kept thinking, okay, I got to get his opinion on this. And this is the dumpster match with Chelsea Green against Mi Chen. Your thoughts on the match?
I love Chelsea Green.
I do too.
Chelsea Green is as entertaining as they come. I think I could watch Chelsea Green all day. Yep. This was a perfect match for her to sell the dumpster and getting dumped in the dumpster. This really brought up but I always say my chin. What is it? Me chin, my chin, your chin, their chin. This brought up my chin. This was entertaining. Chelsea, Mac, if I was there, I would have put that belt on Chelsea Green months and months and months ago.
What is the holdback for that? Because I'm the same way. I thought she's been a star since she got there, and I'm surprised they have not put the belt on her.
I'm hoping they think she doesn't need the belt because she is so entertaining and she doesn't need a belt. That's what I'm hoping. But my God, after this, we see Bayley and Nia Jackson stuff in the ring. And to me, Chelsea Green's worth on this roster is 10 times that of Bayley.
Yes. Oh, I totally agree. Totally agree. And that's nothing against Bayley. I think Bayley is a good talent. But I think Chelsea stands out amongst all the women right now on that roster, except for maybe Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan, maybe.
Were you the one that told Bayley shaving one side of her head was a good idea? Did that come from you, Mac?
It didn't come from me. So I would have told her to shave the whole thing.
Okay, all right. Because somebody told her to shave one side of the head that was a good idea. I don't think that was a good idea.
I think she only shaves one leg too. I think that's just how she.
Very nice. Very nice.
Look here, I did make a note on this. 45 minutes into the show, I made a note and it said, I'm not invested in this show. Did you feel like you were wasting time in about 45 minutes into this program?
Yeah, all the time, man. It is. Listen, the only positives I liked about this match, and Mac, I'm going to tell you because this is where people don't have a clue, okay? And I will explain to you why. The only appeal this show had to me was there were two gimmick matches, and we're going to get into the last gimmick match in a minute. Mac, a gimmick match will always 100% of the time outdraw a regular wrestling match. And let me tell you why. Because if I'm not a fan and I'm not watching the show, and all of a sudden I get my remote control in my hand and I start flipping, well, now if there's ladders involved, if there's a dumpster, if all of a sudden now it looks something like a spectacle and not just a match, I'm stopping on it. That's what casual fans do. And that's why all the years that I booked, the gimmick match always outdrew the regular wrestling match. So the gimmick matches were the only things that caught my attention this week. However, I've got some comments by the time we get to the last one. But yeah, man, after Chelsea and my chin, your chin, their chin, our chin, I knew it wasn't going to get better than that.
No, and they did do a spot. Michin took Chelsea Green and put her through a table that was laid across the dumpster. Man, I tell you what, I was looking at Chelsea's head going, I hope she doesn't hit the outside edge of that dumpster.
Bro, I got to tell you one thing about Chelsea that I love if you notice. And, bro, you never see anybody else do this. When Chelsea's taking a back bump, she always cups her hands behind her head. Nobody does that. She always does that. She's freaking smart, bro. She understands.
And thank God, because had she been off, if Michin had been off on that drop, that head could have hit the outside of that edge of that dumpster and she would have been in serious trouble. So protecting her head was smart. And you're right. A lot of people don't do that. I see that quite a bit. Yes. Piper Niven, let's talk about her. She did run in during this match with a biohazard suit and a cowboy hat. Again, a spectacle to look at. So let me ask you, at the end of this,
I'm going to drop, before you ask me, I'm going to drop names. I'm going to drop names to you, Mac.
All right.
Me and Piper Niven have, we have exchanged DMs.
Hey.
Multiple times. You know why?
Why?
Because we are both the proud owner of bullies. We both have English bulldogs. That's why I will always be a huge fan of Piper Niven. Another talent who they have totally missed the boat on. Totally.
Yes, I agree. I agree. She needs more exposure and being used in a bit of a different way than she's being used right now. Last night, she was just comedy. That's all she was. And that was unfortunate to have that much talent and be used as a comedy spot. Anything else about that match you want to talk about, Vince?
No, I had no issues with this whatsoever. Everybody said I bury everything, blah, blah, blah. I ain't burying this. I enjoyed this. This was entertaining. Chelsea definitely got the best out of my chin. Bro, this was very, very, very entertaining to me.
Well, somebody sent me a message after the last show we did. We didn't do one last week, but 2 weeks ago we did a show, and somebody sent a question and said, how can Vince tell you how well that show did if he doesn't watch the entire show? Do you have it? I guess they're saying if you're not watching the matches and you're only watching what's in between, how can you gauge if the show is good or bad?
What's a good fake wrestling match going to tell me? These matches are fake, bro. They're not real. All I need to know is the finish. I don't every spot in every match I've seen 1 billion times. So, Mac, what on earth am I going to get out of sitting there and watching a 10-minute match?
And I think a lot of people need to understand too, when you look at SmackDown, you look at it differently. You don't look at it as the total package, the matches and everything. You're looking at the entertainment value to a viewer, correct?
Yeah, I'm looking at it. Does this show keep my interest?
Yes. And I can tell you.
Yeah, Mac, if it kept my interest, I wouldn't be fast forwarding through wrestling matches.
True. Because back in the Attitude Era, even with WCW, you talk about difficult to watch 2 programs. And then even when you record and go back and watch another one, at that time, the matches were so good. And the stories and the promos themselves, I guess you could say the promos, but they were worked into the match as well. So you watched the entire show. You didn't just watch pieces. You watched everything that took place.
That's the argument I have, Mac, with I always have this argument with Disco Inferno every single week. Here's a perfect example. When Jey Uso won the Intercontinental title, the audience was 1.5 million people.
Right.
So Disco will turn around and his defense will be, oh, yeah, bro, but 42 million people watched it on YouTube. Yeah, bro, that's because 42 million people didn't want to sit through the show. That's not a victory, Mac. They want to see a 3-minute clip. They're not going to sit through a 3-hour show. So when you got 42 million on YouTube and 1.5 on the USA Network, I got a simple question for you. How does the USA Network feel about that?
Yes, because
how do they feel about that?
They want live programming. They want people watching it live. And if they're not watching it live, like you say, most people today, the attention span is so short that all they do is go back and find the clips they want to watch from the show. They don't even watch. I mean, they might only watch 2 matches or 2 clips of the show and forget everything else because they're only interested in one particular person on the show.
And like I said, to me, that's not a win. I would hope they want their audience to sit through the entire show. I would hope.
Well, you would think so, but let's talk about this next SmackDown event. We find out actually that Naomi, Bianca Belair, and Jade Cargill, and this is the reason I'm going to watch today, they will be our hosts for Bad Blood.
Bro, you've got, I laugh, Mac. I laugh because I'll tell you why. You've got 2 legit superheroes.
Yes.
In Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair. Legit. You don't have anything for them to do on the pay-per-view that they have to host it, bro?
Makes no sense. No sense at all. The entire idea that they need to have a host in the first place, if you're going to do that, bring somebody in, a special guest.
Hardy?
Hey, yeah, Hardy. Everybody knows Hardy.
Oh, Hardy. God bless.
Oh, boy. Let's see.
You know what the Road Dogg would say about Hardy, Mac? My good friend, the Road Dogg.
What would he say?
Bless his heart. Bless his heart.
Yeah, he's a good Southern boy. That's why he says that.
Bless his heart. Yes, sir. Yeah.
He is a blast to hang around too.
He's freaking brilliant.
Now Bayley is she goes up to Naomi.
I do want to say one other thing too about the little spot we had in the back. I loved when they do their hair that way. Naomi. Yeah, she had the little leopard gimmicks and stuff. I think that's it. If I had hair like that, I'd be walking around like that.
All right, at 9 o'clock, we're an hour into SmackDown at this time, and we get a promo with Bayley Nia Jax and Tiffany Stratton. Vince, I'm going to write, just kind of put down a few notes that I made here. I wrote down high school acting. Absolutely. Is this ladies' night at WWE? And is this a go-home show for Bad Blood? What was your thought of that entire promo bit?
Bro, I've said this a million times, and I'm sorry. I am sorry. For as long as Bayley has been doing this, and for how many of thousands and thousands and thousands of promos she has cut, she is horrible on the microphone. Always has been, has never improved. Mac, I remember, I can remember vividly when Charlotte first started. She used to get so rattled by the crowd. I mean, it was clear as day on television. However, you then saw the improvement and the confidence, and she got better and better and better. Bayley has been at the same spot with these promos for as long as she's been in this federation. And she is horrible on the mic. And here's another thing, bro. I always complain about the predictability. Because, Mac, when you're going into the pay-per-view, you're supposed to go into the pay-per-view with heat.
Yes.
Why? Because when the babyface gets their butt beat, you want to see them get their comeuppance at the pay-per-view. That's booking 101, bro. So I'm watching this, and of course, at the end of this, Bayley is up. And why is Bayley up? Because she's not winning the title at Bad Blood. Like the way they book, man, you know everything that's going to happen, why it's going to happen, because it's a pattern of the same thing over and over and over again. And, you know, I like Tiffany Stratton, but my God, Mac, do they have a way of just beating angles to death to the point of the viewer getting like, okay, enough already. We get it. We got it 3 weeks ago. Enough. Move on.
And basically, their promo was no different than what we got at the beginning of the night when the show started. It was the same old, I can beat you, you can beat me. And none of the ladies in that ring that night, not just Bayley, but Nia Jax, I like Nia, but she's not believable on the mic. It's just, it doesn't work for me. She doesn't need to hold a mic. Bayley doesn't need to hold a mic. Tiffany is still kind of early. I can't really say that, but I thought the entire part, you know, here you are at 9 o'clock, you know, top of the hour, and you bring out something that's so high schoolish that is just, at that point, I was gone from the show. I was
Matt, they did drop a biatch. They did drop a biatch, Mac.
Yeah, they did do that. Hey, wow.
I love that. I love when they go to the cuss word and they think that's going to save the promo. I love that, man.
So we got Naomi, who did win against Tiffany Stratton in her match. And Tiffany teased hitting Nia Jax with that Money in the Bank briefcase, which, of course, you saw coming from a mile away as well. Did you not?
You did. And I don't understand why are you going to beat the person with the Money in the Bank case? Because then they're not a threat. They're not a threat. Okay, let her cash it in. She lost to Naomi. Why I would never beat the person with the case, because you want to convince your audience when they cash it in, they're going to win. Yes. So why would you beat her, especially when you look at these two? Listen, Naomi is a stud. Naomi is a blue chip athlete, no question about it. But Naomi has also been around forever. You know, Tiffany is the fresher star. You know, there's a lot you could do with her. There's a lot of meat on the bone. Why are you beating her if she has the case?
Well, I guess we'll find out as time goes on, huh? All right, after our Bloodline promo, we do move to our main event of the evening, and that's Tama and Tonga. Is that right? Tama and Tonga?
Well, before we get to that, though, bro, which was pretty funny, Chelsea Green stinking. Her selling it and her facials, man, bro, she can I tell you something, Mac? Honestly, when I see people like Mac, you know who Charlie Caruso is, right?
Yes.
Okay, and you know what she's doing now, right?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Mac, when she was backstage reporter at WWE, I was screaming at my television, Charlie, get out of there. Get out of, you're better than this. Get out of here. Get an agent. Get yourself in mainstream media. And now Charlie Caruso is all over mainstream media. All over, bro. Chelsea Green needs to get an agent, and she needs to get in movies, sitcoms. I know she loves wrestling, but she is way, way, way too talented to be doing just this.
Well, her husband too is also very talented.
Absolutely.
And Matt Cardona.
Yes,
I'm surprised
absolutely.
he has not been offered a contract. He wrote the other day that he has not been offered a contract from WWE or AEW. That's hard to believe.
Because neither company probably wants to admit that they were wrong about him. That's why.
Well, they were way wrong about him. He's one of the most interesting characters right now in wrestling, especially in the independent circuit, if you keep up with independents and other shows. But he's everywhere. And it's such a classy guy, too. And
when you say that, Mac, see, now, I swear to God, now that I'm sitting here thinking, I want to see a reality show with these two. Yeah, that's what I want to see.
Yeah, I agree. I think that would be one hell of a show. We had Miz and Maurice, and that was a good show. But you get Matt Cardona and Chelsea Green together, God knows what you might get out of that. And that would be hilarious.
Yeah,
All right, so let's see. We got after the Bloodline promo, we moved to the main event. That is Tama and Tonga of the Bloodline versus DIY versus the Street Profits. Good match. Bloodline wins. Your thoughts?
Here's my my notes on this, Mac. I put ladder match, and here's exactly what I wrote. This is a ladder match. There's 3 teams involved. There's about 6 ladders out there. Mac, why do we need all this other crap? Why do we need the tables and the chairs and it's a ladder match. Bro, go back and watch the King of Ladder match, the ladder match that started it all, Shawn Michaels and Scott Hall at WrestleMania 10. It's a ladder match. Yes. We don't need all that other crap. It's a freaking ladder match, Mac.
The other thing I noticed too, Vince, is that they would have the different size ladders in the ring. You'd have the tall ones that could reach the belts. And then you had these 6-foot ladders, and they would put them under the belts and climb up, and you knew they were not going to reach those belts. Why even put that ladder in that spot?
I don't know, man. I don't know. And especially, bro, when we did all that stuff with Chelsea, we did the table, we did all that stuff. It's a ladder match with 6 people. Why do we need all? It's never enough, man. They always got to add more and more and more and more. And nothing means anything anymore, Mac. That's the thing. Somebody wants to know why I don't sit through matches. Because I've seen it all. There's nothing they're going to show me that I have not seen.
What do you think is going to happen at Bad Blood? Are you looking forward to looking at Bad Blood, or are you going to even look at it?
Nah, bro. Is that tonight? Is it tonight?
It's tonight at 6 p.m.
I got an indie show tonight. Thank God, Mac. I won't be looking at Bad Blood.
Now, what do you do at the independent shows, Vince?
I write, I produce. I do what I always did, bro. And I it's local. I love my state of Colorado. So it's kind of my way of pitching in.
It's funny, as I've gotten older and I enjoy wrestling so much, I get myself involved as much as I possibly can. It's something that brings joy to me. I enjoy being, certain parts of it. But overall, I enjoy doing this. This is part of why I do it. I enjoy sitting down, talking to people just like you who have different, opinions of things than I do in some cases, and other cases where we totally agree. And that's why I like this show. And if you want to see more of this show, you can see it each and every week, but you got to go to Patreon to do so. All you got to do is go to Backstage Pass, and I think it's Backstage Pass SK. I'll put it up on the screen here in just a moment for you. But make sure you sign up and join Vince and I each and every single week, where you get more talk like this, where we talk about SmackDown, the latest SmackDown, as well as other things that happen in wrestling. And speaking of that, anything else you want to talk about, Vince?
So, Mac, you will be watching Bad Blood?
I'll watch Bad Blood tonight. I'll watch it just because of a couple of matches, but not for the entire show.
That's what I want to ask you. What are you interested in tonight?
I am interested in the Cody Rhodes Roman Reigns match, the tag team match. I'm interested in that, and I'm interested in. Well, that's really about the only one I can say that I'm truly interested in. The rest of them, I'm keeping an eye on everything, but that one match makes me want to see where we're going in the future with SmackDown. Yeah. That's why I find it interesting.
Especially if there's a good possibility Rock is in the house.
Correct.
That is going to give you some indication of where they're headed.
All right, we some guess Bush and Ryu Cat. I hope I said that right. A $5 donation there. Vince, book or no book? Kenny Omega as surprise entry into the WWE Royal Rumble 2025. Can Triple H's WWE benefit from his style and character?
Mac, we've created an environment where good wrestlers, great wrestlers are a dime a dozen. Everybody is a great wrestler. Who cares? Like I said, bro, if this is real, that's one thing. Mike Tyson was a great boxer. Mike Tyson was really knocking people out.
Yes.
Muhammad Ali, great boxer. Okay. This is not real. So I don't care about how good somebody does a skill set. It does nothing for me. So bringing Kenny Omega, and I want to get your opinion on this. Bringing Kenny Omega into the WWE does what, Mac?
Nothing. I mean, look, I don't mean that to be mean because Kenny Omega is a good talent, but what's he going there for? Who's he going to go up against? There's so many other people there right now, just like him. He's just going to blend in.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, and you don't want to get lost in the crowd. And that's the problem with a lot of the guys from AEW. When they make that jump, a lot of them can get lost in the crowd because they're being pulled over for one reason or another, but not for any kind of main event, except for maybe a CM Punk that they brought over. But a lot of times the people in AEW, they're not going to look right in WWE, and those in WWE don't look right in AEW because of the size difference. They're two different promotions to me, totally different promotions.
Absolutely. Yep.
Let's see. Zubar Talk TV, a $10 donation. Wonderful seeing you two interacting and reviewing SmackDown. Also, thoughts on this show supposedly celebrating the 25th anniversary of SmackDown, but not honoring it. Plus a go-home show, but not top stars to hype the show.
You got to ask yourself this, Mac, with Endeavor and whatnot, because, bro, I was saying this for years and years and years and years, Mac. When they would do an anniversary show and they would bring back all the legends,
yes,
bro, all they were reminding you was how good the show used to be and how much it stinks now. And I used to say, well, yeah, why are you doing that, bro? Like, why are you doing that? Maybe they finally realize that now, Mac, and are getting away from that. And that's why they're not making the big hoopla of, this one's coming back and that one's coming back. Maybe they finally smartened up.
Yeah, because you are saying to the audience basically that these guys were much better. That's why you want to see them so bad, because the other ones in the ring aren't matching up to the quality that they were. I don't know that they can, Vince. The Attitude Era was something special, and I don't think we'll ever see that again. Do you?
Nah, Mac. And you know what I always think of? I swear to God, Mac, I think of this. Bro, who are we going to be putting in the Hall of Fame 10 years from now? R.D. McDonough? Are we putting R.D. McDonough in the Hall of Fame, bro? Who's going in the Hall of Fame? Hardy?
Yes, Hardy could end up in there. Yeah,
is he going to go in the celebrity wing, Hardy?
People will probably give us hell in a little while in the chat and everything else, simply because we have no idea who Hardy is. But we are watching.
Make it clear, Mac. Yeah. Nor do we care. Because if we cared, we would be looking up Hardy. That ain't worth a second of our time, bro.
No, I didn't even go any further than going, I don't know who that is.
Thank you.
Vince, I've enjoyed it, brother. We got college football today. Before we even get into Bad Blood, any games you're looking forward to?
I'm not a big college guy, Mac. I'm really not. But what about you? What are you looking? Give us a pick. Give us a last minute draft case.
Oh no, not me. I lose every single time. I always say Georgia. That's the team to watch.
Oh, you're a big Bulldog fan, huh?
I'm a Bulldog fan, brother. Yeah. And outside of that, I'm just looking forward to a game of football. I didn't get to that last week because we had no power. So I'm looking forward to sitting back. I've got a house full of grandkids and kids here because they don't have power, but their power came on this morning. So they're all leaving.
So you're throwing them out, Mac. Throwing them out. See, Mac, now what I'm looking forward to today, but it's going to suck because I am going to be working all night. But, we've got the second round of the baseball. I'm a baseball guy, Mac. So that I'm excited about the second round of baseball today.
I can imagine your team would be the New York Mets or Yankees.
No, Mac, believe it or not, San Francisco Giants, because my dad was a New York Giants fan when they were in the Polo Grounds. So when they moved to the West Coast, my dad remained loyal to the Giants.
Look here, folks, if you want to see more of Sportskeeda's Backstage Pass and all the things they have to offer, just like this show with myself and Vince, you get exclusive content from some of wrestling's greatest names, WWE Hall of Famers, JBL and Briscoe, Bill Apter, Jonathan Coachman, of course, joining Vince on several shows, and our very own, of course, Vince Russo has many shows. As I just mentioned on the thing. What other shows are you doing, Vince?
Well, also forget about the shows I'm doing. Let me give my plug. If you want to see Mac, my wife's from the Midwest. Here's how she pronounces it. This is how she pronounces it, Mac. I've been making fun of her for 41 years. If you want to see Mac half naked, here is the show, bro. Here is the show, man. He may come on here next week with no shirt, bro. How about that?
No, next week I'm going to get me a little chain put around here. That's a tattoo, or is that a real chain you're wearing?
That's a chain. I thought, hey, Mac, what about this, bro? We may not know who Hardy is, but Mac, what about the Dickie? Bring back the Dickie, Mac. What happened to the Dickie? Mac, is the Dickie still a thing, Mac?
No. It went out with the fanny pouch.
I can't go to the store today and buy a Dickie. I won't find one.
No, you can't get a Dickie. No, the only person can get a Dickie is your wife. Yeah, that depends on later.
Mac, let me ask you this. Be honest with me. And I'll be honest with you.
Sure.
Did you ever in your life wear a Dickie?
No.
I did.
Did you really?
Absolutely. I wore a Dickie in my life, bro. And people got no idea what we're talking about.
No. In fact, well, maybe in post they can put up a little Dickie picture for everybody. They got big little Dickies and big Dickies. It all depends on what you prefer.
Yeah.
Russo, I enjoy this, my friend. Every time we get together, I have a good time. And then usually I'm like, I'm half asleep or something. And yet I wake up and we're just bouncing off the wall.
I'm the same way, Mac.
All right. We hope everybody will join us again next week. All you got to do is join Patreon. Don't forget that Backstage Pass on Patreon. And that's where you'll find Vince and I and all the other shows with Sportskeeda. We'll see you again next week.